edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show coming off a wedding weekend.
Wedding weekend for the both of us, dude.
Yeah, I was going to say weekend of weddings, wedding weekend. Same thing,
dude.
But nevertheless, Tony, how are you? What's going on, man?
I'm doing great, man. You alluded to it, had a great weekend. Marrying one of my best friends there. So it's a great time.
You got
dude.
married this weekend.
They got married. He got
the
married.
way you said it, though, I mean, it did kind of like, I knew what you meant, but it did kind of allude to some confusion for some other viewers, potentially. You could give me that, Tony.
Yeah, I guess possibly. We collectively, our friends, married our friend, Chris Coyne, over the weekend. It was a tremendous celebration, dude. And I don't know. Obviously, I don't really, it's like, this is the time of the wedding. You got to be here at this time.
Yeah.
I don't really ask any more questions. But it turns out that it was at a golf club. The reception was at a golf club in Wilton. It was called Rolling Hills.
Okay, I've heard of that. I've never been there.
Never been. I mean, it looked like as if the people paid a lot of money to be there. It's a private club.
Yeah.
Bentleys everywhere, dude. Rolls Royces.
I mean, is
gorgeous.
It wealthy family? Is that?
Yeah. Sure.
Wealthy
sure,
families, yeah.
Coyne, his parents are, his affluent family from
Yeah.
Boston.
Yep.
Kelly, born and raised in Connecticut, so you can imagine.
Oh, I'm surprised you approve of her. Connecticut.
I mean, I don't have to like her. No, I like her very much. She's a great person, nurse, very, very lovable woman. She's great.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Good,
Yes.
Very good there.
Very good there. But yeah, great time. Dude, the filet for dinner. Dude, taco bar at the hot cocktail hour.
Wow, taco
so
bar.
dope. As well as hors d'oeuvres going around. The drinking, the pre-gaming, the shuttles. Thank God. And then the after party back at the bar. I caught the rest of the Rangers game. Unfortunately, they lost in the shootout. Super terrible. But they had pizza for us at the after party. We stayed at 0 Degrees Hotel in Norwalk.
Right.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool, dude.
Awesome.
I literally kept forgetting I was in Connecticut the whole weekend. Thought I was in Jersey.
So maybe
somewhere.
Connecticut's better than you think.
No. Also, what was really weird, I guess maybe because it was like a 0 Degrees hotel. This bar of soap they give you had like a giant hole in the middle, I guess, to make it look like a 0.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it was like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, this is
So you didn't appreciate the marketing effort.
No. I feel like that. I think I was cheated out of soap.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I could see it though, because people try to cheat the soap. These days, any penny that they can. But yeah, no, it was a great weekend.
How was your
my
wedding?
end as well?
Yeah, what do you got?
The food, the venue, just a great time.
The dancing.
I was actually going to ask you about that. Like, where were you with the dancing?
I mean, again, you could imagine like.
Are you a head bobber though, or no?
Yeah, I mean, you head bop a little bit.
No.
Yeah,
What I'm saying
do
is
you
that
mean?
you like you're just like with Jay with the shades and like just going a little this like no.
No, Coyne. No, at Coyne's wedding. It was not, again, it's like all of our best friends together.
Right.
So we were dancing a lot. It was a lot of jumping, a lot of foolishness on the dance floor. Yeah.
What was the time scenario? I was curious, like just
The timing of the whole day.
Yeah, so like ceremony to
Okay,
cocktail
so
hour to
ceremony
reception.
was from 1:30 to 2:30.
Okay. Oh, so earlier in the day.
early
I
in
was
the
like,
day.
how were you able to watch the Rangers?
Yeah, no. So 2:30, we're out of the church. We're all kind of bullshitting, whatever.
Hammered already.
No, stop it. Stop. No. So and then it was the reception wasn't until 5 o'clock. So we had some time to kill. So I went to the hotel, got dressed, started drinking, a couple high noons.
Just a couple.
Like 3 or 4 high noons. And I guess
Jay brought some extracurriculars.
Yeah, well, Jay was MIA because he's in the wedding party.
In the wedding.
So it was like me, three of my good friends, and then one of my friends' wife. So the five of us. Hanging out in the hotel room. I think college football was on, whatever. But he got like these. I guess they're tequila high noons now.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, but which one do you prefer? Equal? I mean, I still like the original better, to be honest.
I don't know, dude. I kind of like
really,
yeah,
really.
dude.
I don't know what it is. Because I feel like with tequila, like I like a good margarita.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then I don't know once it's what do they call that? Or they're not right? Because I guess White Claws are technically what's the malt? Is it a malt beverage? But High Noon isn't that.
High Noon is actual vodka, right?
Right. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So it's But continue on. So you had the tequila High Noons. They're better than I think, apparently.
Yeah, they are better. You try them again. And then Shuttle picked us up at 4:30. We went to the venue. So it was 5 o'clock, right? Was when it started.
5 to 6 cocktail.
5 to 6:30.
Okay.
Because how cocktail hours now are like an hour and a half. It's just an hour.
Yeah.
And that was dope because obviously the drinking, the food, pigs in a blanket, grilled cheese, whatever, on the golf course. And then, jeez, dude, I don't know. After party was maybe 11:30. We're getting back to the hotel.
Okay, so
11:30 midnight, maybe.
Okay.
11:30?
Yeah, I was just trying to compare timelines, but I think we had probably an extra hour at the reception.
Okay.
And at that point, were you like, what if from the dancing end of it, were you like kind of tired or no?
Honestly,
Legs, feet?
No. It was all good, dude.
Yeah.
I felt awesome. Again,
On the floor the whole time or no?
85% of it, honestly.
Drinking
dude.
hands.
Drinking. No. Well, maybe sometimes I do try my best to not be that guy on the dance floor with a drink in your hand because you're spilling broken glass. It happens, dude. It happens at every fucking wedding.
Did someone break one?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
somebody
my God.
always spills a lot and breaks it, and then there's just like, and then it's dangerous. Then you're like, yo, this is all wet. Don't fucking come over here and dance and break your ass. So it's very interesting. But of course, sometimes you're just like, I gotta dance with this drink or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's also so funny to me. I feel like at every wedding I've been to, it's always like they don't do shots, and then by the end of the night, people were doing shots. So we did some green tea shots at the end of the night, dude. It was delicious. But the guy was definitely like a little tight.
The bartender?
Yeah.
Because now the after party was where? At the hotel.
Oh, the after party was back at the hotel.
Back at the hotel bar.
Yeah, hotel bar.
Okay. Well, did you guys have it like rented out or it just?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
The whole thing was us.
Yeah.
And that was pretty interesting, dude. I think like I remember like we got in there, right? And everyone, like no one was like, maybe a few people went to the hotel, back to the room, get changed, whatever. I stayed in my suit for a little while. I went right to the bar, pizza, dude. And I don't even know how much they ordered, but by the time Chris and Kelly even got into the bar,
Pizza gone?
Pizza was gone. No more pizza left.
Wow.
Like I want to say maybe half the people got like pizza. But I also like, I don't know, definitely people were definitely just like taking pies for themselves.
Well, yeah, when everyone's drinking,
it's like it was an afterthought.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, can we get 50 more pies, whatever? So we got more pies.
This is directly from the hotel.
Literally right there. It's like bar is in the same room as there's a kitchen, and there's like a little thing there. Yeah.
Wow.
Bar was dope. I think I maybe had like one more like gin and tonic or something, and then I had like a bunch of Coors Lights. But it was interesting. People started to fade.
Yeah,
for sure.
And the way you're kind of talking about this, I feel like I have you between 20 and 25, I think, in total for the day.
I'm trying to think, dude. Again,
we're talking Coors Lights, tonic,
so
the high noons before.
Yeah, 4 high noons going into the reception. I started out with, I think, a couple JMO Gingers.
So we're at 6.
Did a couple, and then we switched to 7 and 7s.
How many of those?
3.
So it's 9.
And then in the reception,
you had to have been good for 6 or 7 in the reception.
At least. Dude, I think I had like 3 more 7 and 7s, and then switched to gin and tonics.
So let's call it 16.
And then the shots, if you want to count shots.
17, 18, Coors Lights, right where I said,
and then
20
beers,
to 25.
It was so much fun, dude.
And I think you always kind of like take pride in it. It doesn't seem like you get that hungover, I feel like. Like, how were you yesterday? Or you were kind of hungover?
No, yesterday was just, I think I was, it was the tired, I think, too. And also, I flubbed it by not really eating.
Oh.
So it was like, we went to bed. I
thought you had pizza, though.
Well, no. Like the morning after.
Morning after. Okay, the hydration, the food, nothing?
Hydrating was okay, I guess. Probably not as best as I could. But I don't know. I went to bed. I probably got to like 3 in the morning, maybe.
Okay.
3:30. And, breakfast is at 9.
Yeah.
So I wake up
In the
like,
hotel?
Yeah, hotel downstairs, like 9:30, whatever. And it was just like, again, like, I mean, phenomenal stuff, but I kind of thought that would be like breakfast. It was like bagels, pastries, coffee is what it was, some yogurt. So I had like a bagel with cream cheese, I had some orange juice, and then like we were just chilling, went home, lay down for a little bit, and I just didn't eat. I didn't really eat until dinner yesterday. So it was just like someone was bothering me. But other than that, I mean, it was all fine. It was good.
Yeah. That's glad it was a great weekend. Yeah, and I would say same on my end.
Yeah, how many drinks do you have?
I don't know, probably 8 or 9. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And you had Sam in the wedding party, right?
Sam was in the wedding party.
Were
Yep.
you alone a lot of the time?
No, because her brother was there too, because she was one of her friends' date, because her boyfriend is in this program in Grenada, actually. So he couldn't go.
Oh my God.
So Matt ended up coming along. So yeah, we were there. We had to bring a car back from the venue, grab lunch. And then, by the time you do all that, get ready, it's time to go. But what was crazy? We're all set to go over, and there was another dude who was in his girlfriend or fiance was in the wedding. So he's there. So he's putting an Uber on the way over. This lady picks us up, looks at the thing. Where are you going? Oh, Hampton? $17? I'm not going to Hampton. And he's like, like we have a wedding to go to. Like, can I give you like an extra $10? No, sorry. That's just not worth my time. And then we couldn't go there. So then he ended up just driving us in his car.
Are you kidding me?
But like, are you like get fired from Uber on the spot, Tony? Like that would have been a Tony outrage right
dude,
there.
I would have fucking I would like, are you fucking kidding me? That's crazy, dude. That is like a get fired. Did you guys like a reporter or something?
He said he gave her like a 2-star. I mean, why are we giving her stars? First of all, I mean, let's just give her a 0. And I have to say, not to be judgmental, but she seemed like, I don't know, like it wasn't all there, Tony, because you're telling me
himself.
I don't believe it. I mean, of course, yes, I've never worked for Uber, but I don't believe that they just give you miles and they don't tell you where you're going. That's bullshit. She definitely is just high in the clouds.
Yeah.
There's no way that they don't.
Definitely. The shades are on.
The shades, yeah.
Did she have shades on?
No shades, but like I said, it seemed a little suspect. But whatever, we got there in time. Great venue, great night. And congratulations to Dan and Amanda. So
yeah, that is
the
great.
Weekend of weddings, Tony.
Very nice, dude.
That was the prelude to the weekend of the NFL. But before we recap all that, everyone's excited to interact
To the
here.
world of the National Football League.
That was ridiculous. But let's go to the comments first before we go to the world of the National Football League.
Yes, dude. We got to go to the comments here. You can imagine they're building up, dude. Started out with Kev Dew. Knew Kev Dew would be first today. He says, let's go. We want the smoke out, son. Respect on the Raiders' name. We smashed the Pee-wees. Put your position, Giants fan. Go kick rocks.
Aiden O'Connell, Antonio
dude.
Pierce. I was forecasting it, Tony.
Antonio Pierce, the forecast. Josh B, the forecast. Company picks, he says.
Yeah, we're struggling over here at downtime with the picks.
Hashtag rep the company.
I think some more research will need to be done.
Yes,
some
definitely.
Careful selections coming up.
Yeah, I feel like we're just too lackadaisical, honestly, about the picks, too. We got to really buckle down.
No, and you know what pisses me off?
Strap
there
down,
were,
strap
I
on.
guess, 4 feature games because you had the Germany game,
right?
1:00, with Seattle, the 4:00 with Dallas, and then the primetime with the Bills and the Bengals. On those of what I said, I was 3-1. So it's like if we just picked 3 of those, could have been 3-0.
Yeah.
But just like taking the Falcons, we're done. We're not taking. I don't care if they're getting 100. We're not taking them, Tony. Okay.
100 though?
Yeah. Ridiculous that they don't step up there.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
But
bullshit.
Continue
It's
on.
bullshit,
Continue
dude.
on.
Matt Ryan. I mean, he's not getting the let's go fight.
Seahawks too. You can't do better than that,
dude. Honestly,
Gino, I don't want to
my
hear
God.
anything about
Dude,
Gino.
that's ridiculous.
I don't want to hear anything. Honestly.
Ravens blew him out of the water. Ridiculous. Gus Edwards. I should have known.
Yeah.
Let's go, Zach Wilson. Wilson's final game as a starter. Get the fuck out of here, Matthew Ryan. Honestly, dude. Not today. It's a fucking Monday night game. Like, are you not rooting for the Jets tonight?
Yeah.
Like, who are you rooting for, Zach? Are you rooting for Zach and the Jets?
Wait.
No.
Tony, is he doing some forecasting though? He is kind of forecasting, right?
He says, let's go. Could be Zach Wilson's final game as a starter. Like, let's go Chargers. Zach Wilson, final game. Like, is what he's saying.
It could have been worded differently. But like I said, there's forecasting there. Right or wrong forecasting, there's forecasting. So hopefully that's not a prelude to what we see later.
I feel confident in my prediction. Is his next comment. And he goes, he says, I want the smoke. I want to be proven wrong. Hashtag rep the sports port, he says.
And then, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. He says forecasting.
Yeah. Oh my God! Did he just say forecasting? It was ridiculous, dude.
Where's Michael to run through this?
Honestly, kind of ridiculous. All right, and then of course Lonnie says, "Let's go." How are we doing, gentlemen? Big game for the Jets tonight, Tony. Fucking huge game, Lonnie. Let's go. The team you used to root for as a kid absolutely stinks. That's true. Jones is out again. Really tough with the knee. I feel for the kid. At least he got his bag, though. Yes,
he did get the bag.
And he goes, "Has rep the company Rep TTV." Hello, chat world, he also says. And then Matt Ryan says, at Lonnie, what happened to the Giants? It's sad to see. Is he talking shit? Lonnie saying it is what it is. Lonnie saying, I feel bad for the Giants fans. Dave will be gone next year. Lonnie, not too sure about that. Then they go on. But then we got Danny V. Wow. What up, everyone? Let's go G-Men Tank soon. Season's on. Rep the company. Rep DTV. Lonnie saying you have a lot of predictions and takes, Matt. Majority of them are shit. Oh, damn. Oh, damn, dude.
What would you like on your good burger?
Yeah. And then Lonnie says, congratulations to everyone who got married at all these weddings. Talking sports with Jake. What's up, Jake? Says Giants suck. And now we are back alive, baby.
We're in Mystic. Right in Mystic Villager? You've been in Mystic Villager? No,
Mystic Village?
A lot going on, and talking sports with Jake saying Geno Smith is not a good quarterback.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that was a tough game. Would you say that? He's just not a good quarterback.
Brutal.
It was brutal.
Yeah. I mean, let's see how exactly. Let's see how he finishes this season. Yeah. I'm not gonna write him off, but he seems like, you know what I mean. Like we can't get ahead of ourselves either. And as Yanni would say, at least he got his bag.
Yes.
And then Kev Do back at it. Hashtag rep the company. Hashtag rep DTV.
Love Kev Do.
Hashtag rep sports for. Always gotta love Kev Do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yanni. I will prove Ricked. I'm guessing he means right.
Yeah.
And then Yanni always loves going out Yanni for the entire double B. That ABC cap needs to be retired, my friend. That needs him back. I mean, what would you 5 minutes on that, Tony? I mean, I don't think it's as bad, like it's as dire as he's saying. Am I saying it? I'm making a fashion statement by wearing it? No, but at the same time, like, okay, there's a couple little like imperfections, Tony, right? I mean, it's
I guess so, but it's like it's your work hat, no? It's
right,
like, yeah,
exactly.
Come
it's
on, dude.
But it's I'm saying it's not the most embarrassing thing we've ever seen.
It's not the most embarrassing thing. I've seen more embarrassing things.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like some things we saw on the football field yesterday. There's so much to talk about. Let's just go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
And Yanni continuing on here saying, I'm going to get on y'all until at least one team fitted is brought. And then Matthew Ryan, Tony, you had to have some truth. If the Jets lose this game, Zach, done. Mark my words. Where's Michael to burst in, though?
Honestly,
Come on.
this is ridiculous, dude. He's so fucking wrong. How about that, dude? Because I feel like Chargers are going down hard tonight, dude. Like, it's not even going to be a competition.
I mean,
honestly.
see, I think
Jets
that's
all the way. Zach Wilson. It's going to be Matt Ryan coming in here tomorrow, calling in, apologizing to me on the phone, on the show. I'm sorry.
No, one thing I would say, Tony, like Jets, of course, all the way. But like I said last week too, I'm the middle ground man here. Jets all the way, but this is going to be a tight one. Tony.
Speaking of a tight
There's
one,
no way this is a blowout. It's a tight one. Either way, it's a tight
speaking
one.
of a tight one,
And honestly, I mean, tell me that there's nothing more rewarding than a tight win. Or you like it raw? Come on, right? A tight win is good.
Yeah,
a walk-off tight win.
Great. Yes,
Zerlin
that
from
is
60.
exciting game, great time,
a little
dude.
bit, but-
Yeah. I think you are forecasting a little bit.
What else we got?
Lonnie talking shit to Matt now. He says, "No, Matt, you need to have some truth. Stop it, like Collinsworth just said." It's actually kind of funny. And Jay Bird says, "I'm assuming talking to Matt Ryan here. How's the hater factory treating you?" Mr. Herbert 3 interceptions. He says. The Jay Bird says Zach Wilson has an over average night, above average, I think, whatever. 2 touchdown passes, 250 yards, dude.
That'd be great.
Talking sports with Jake says Jets 20-16. Don't
Love it.
at
Love
him. Is that tight enough for you, Brian? And then Lonnie says tight and raw, the name of Tony's solo podcast.
Would you do it?
And call it tight and raw? What is my podcast about?
I guess it's your podcast. It's up to you.
I mean, I guess sure, yeah, I'd do that.
Oh my God. But yeah, yesterday, honestly, I think brought us a little of something. And dare I say, Tony, probably top to bottom, the most compelling week that we've seen this year in the National Football League. Tight finishes all over the place, big matchups, and we got started early and often. And we'll start with the game from Germany. And were you surprised that Jay, with his forecasting, he was talking about the teams arriving early, the Chiefs getting 9'd. That was a cover up too, by the way. I think he was going to say 9-3 or something. No?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a big cover up.
I saw it in
for
his
sure.
face. I saw it in his face all the way from Norwich. I could tell that one. But I'm just giving you a hard time, Jay. But I do believe, in all seriousness, not to call you out, but I do think that you were going to say 9. It was just one of those score things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day here, the Chiefs, despite getting shut out in the second half, shut out the Dolphins in the first half, which was good enough for a 21-14 victory. So you look at the way this game went, obviously on the Chiefs side, a lot of defense early, not letting the Dolphins get anything established. Some penalties hurt them as well. But the first score of the game, a 11-yard touchdown pass from Mahomes to Rashee Rice. Rice, the rookie wide receiver, hasn't burst out yet, but you could just tell he seems like he's going to become something in this league. And I wouldn't be surprised if by next season, obviously, of course, it depends on who the Chiefs bring in this offseason, but he establishes himself as one of the top receivers on this team. Chiefs second quarter are able to put together 2 more touchdown drives. The first one, 13 plays, 95 yards. So a 95-yard touchdown drive capped off by Jerick McKinnon. A 17-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes made it 14-0. McKinnon seems to work so well with Mahomes catching passes out of the backfield. It's almost a shame that they don't use him more, but obviously, they want to get Pacheco some work here. And then the last touchdown, Brian Cook recovering a fumble from Tyreek Hill, taking it 59 yards to make it 21-0 Chiefs at the half. So you felt at that point that the game was over. No one would have forecasted, Tony, the Chiefs getting shut out in the second half. They do get shut out in the second half, though. And the Dolphins, while they do get 2 touchdowns, 8 plays, 80 yards, 31-yard pass to Cedric Wilson from Tua, and then Raheem Mostert, a 13-yard touchdown run on a short field, made it 21-14 Chiefs. But really, at the end of the game, a botched snap on 4th down does the Dolphins in. They were facing a 4th and 10. And just couldn't get the snap off clean, and that ends the game. And the Chiefs go to 7-2. The Dolphins yet again losing a big game against a quality opponent, falling to 6-3, and really leaving some wiggle room for this AFC East here. Despite their loss last night, the Bills in it. The Jets, we'll see what happens later, but they're in it. So not running away with this one the way you would expect it. And who would have expected in a game featuring two of the better offenses in the league? And I know, yes, the Chiefs at times have struggled offensively this year. Both quarterbacks held to under 200 yards passing. Would have loved to see what the same game parlay odds were on that puppy, Tony.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you said you were a little surprised that the Chiefs weren't nined by the Dolphins, huh?
Yes. I mean, honestly, I am kind of surprised. Again, like you said it. I mean, the biggest surprise to me was the lack of offense. Just looking at some of the team stats here. Miami 3 for 12 on third down, and the Chiefs 3 for 10. I mean, that's got to be their worst third down efficiency for both teams this season, which is pretty interesting. I don't know. I mean, do you think it was more so like just an off night of offense? I think that their defenses weren't like crazy. So I don't know. It's a very interesting game to me. I don't know. You know, of course, you talk about the fact that it's in Germany.
Yeah, let's go. Oh,
that's just not a good song.
But I do know what you mean, and it's obviously we're not there. We're not in the locker room. We're on the sidelines. But I do see this a lot, especially with good teams, Tony. And like you mentioned about the defenses. To me, it almost seems like sometimes it's just play call. Like it's like, what are we gonna do to effectively set us up? And I think some things that stand out to me is like, you know, always running it on first down at times, or it's 2nd and 8 and you're running it again instead of like, let's do a 10-yard pass. You know what I mean? I think the intermediate passing game, especially for the Chiefs second half, could have been a little stronger. Kelsey, I mean, didn't make an impact on this game at all. Did he even catch a pass?
Kelsey?
Let's see here. 3 catches for 14 yards.
Yeah. And only targeted 4 times too. Like what?
And then, you know, Tyreek Hill, I guess, leading up to this, he was claiming if he did catch a touchdown, he was going to run over to Andy Reid and say, that's why you shouldn't have traded me. But he only goes 8 for 62 and doesn't score, obviously. So, you know, the 1 touchdown pass to Cedric Wilson there. So, yeah, I think there was, you know, it could have been a little more.
So, like, Hill is tight.
Yeah, I'm sure he's tight. But then also, I mean, I here we go again, though, with the Dolphins. And I know this was close and obviously it made some type of adjustment in the second half here. But once again, they can't get the big one. You know, they've lost to now the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Bills, and then beat a bunch of under 500 teams.
That's not good. Not good at all. I mean,
is that a big indictment?
Yeah, it's a huge indictment. I mean, it's not even, again, like you said, like games like these happen sometimes against big teams, but I mean, you just named 3 of the biggest teams in the league that they haven't beaten yet. So how? Yeah, I mean, there's zero confidence in them. Like, honestly.
And on the other side, obviously, you know, the Chiefs coming off that disappointing loss to the Broncos. But, you know, and maybe you wanted more offense, but at the end of the day, yet another win. So I think are we at a point, Tony, where the stats for the Chiefs don't matter because at the end of the day, they just win games. So there's no reason really for concern, despite them, you know, getting shut out in the second half.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you need to do. You know, Zach Wilson needs to win games. It doesn't matter how many yards he has or how many touchdowns he's thrown. I mean, if he's there and the team is winning games with him there, Patty Mahomes, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor Swift.
So it seems like once again, you know, the AFC will run through Kansas City.
Do you think Dolphins though, no future in the postseason?
Yeah, but you know what? It's weird, Tony. It's like I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I guess a better defense, but at the end of the day, this game, the thing that let them down was their offense.
Oh yeah,
you know, like I think they have a good coach. I think they have a good quarterback. They have obviously are loaded on the skill positions. I mean, what do you see? I mean, is it like what's the missing ingredient, or are we thinking that these guys like Tua and Jalen Waddle and Hill are better than we think they are just because they're doing it against lesser?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that with Tua, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, we know obviously Hill has a track record, of course. Waddle somewhat does,
but also like I mean, obviously Hill, I'm sure was very emotional coming into this game. So it's like I don't know. Again, it seemed like he was holding on to the whole "I'm not on the Chiefs" thing anymore. So like that's not a recipe for winning.
Well, yeah,
that's not-
and I mean, obviously, he's had some off the field discretions, like,
Right. Oh, well, yeah.
It doesn't seem like he's been his whole career almost like I hate making this comparison, but he's almost reminded me of like a dialed down Antonio Brown,
Right.
like where he doesn't like for the most part recently he's like got it together, but it does seem like he's somewhat of a loose.
He
cannon.
had like the all the domestic shit, right? In
Right,
college,
coming into the
right?
league, yes.
Didn't he like punch his girlfriend when she was pregnant in the stomach?
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
if
yeah.
something further has happened since then. Maybe
yeah.
not. But
That's not a
obviously,
good thing to do, Brian.
no, of course
Yeah.
not. And then just the way that he was revisiting how he got to the Dolphins, it's just like, why are you talking about that? For once, wow. Okay. I can take accountability here. But right though, I mean, he's talking about how he almost went to the Jets and stuff. Like, why are you talking about that? Other than maybe you're jealous that you don't have a great quarterback like Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I understand. He's a fucking moron, honestly.
I think he's a little out there.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I don't. I'm gonna say right now, I'm pretty confident that the Dolphins will not be in the AFC Championship game this year. I think they'll make the playoffs, but they could blow the division, and I don't see them going far in the playoffs because we've seen them get tested 3 times and they failed all 3 times.
Yeah. So
just like the Seahawks yesterday, 37-3, Tony. 37-3. And the Ravens win by that margin, despite Lamar Jackson under 200, no touchdowns, didn't have any picks either. But they ran for 298 yards on the ground.
Gus Edwards,
led by
Mitchell,
the rookie, maybe sensation. 9 carries, 138 yards, including 60 yards to the house. Lamar had 60 yards.
Second week in a row, over 100 yards rushing, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Lamar had 60 yards. Gus Edwards, 2 touchdowns at 52 yards. Justice Hill even ran for 40 yards. Odell Beckham late in this game catching his first touchdown as a Raven from Snoop Huntley, as they like to call him. Geno Smith, 13-28, 157. I didn't give him the name.
Why do they call him Snoop?
I have no idea. No touchdowns, 1 interception. And then, how about DK Metcalf? Only 1 reception, albeit it was for 50 yards. And then Lockett, 3 for 32, but no touchdowns from them. No touchdowns for the Seahawks. I mean, what the hell happened, Tony?
I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like that was. I mean, that's tough, dude. Obviously, Geno Smith didn't have a great game by any means of the word, dude.
I think Zach Wilson would have had a better game than that.
I do think so as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, DK Metcalf sometimes rubs me the wrong way.
Attitude.
And I just feel like he's not a type of guy. He's just not like a leader guy. I feel like the second, obviously, you're never leading in this game, having a tough time to score. You never get a touchdown. You have to rely on just a field goal. So points you get. And it's just like Metcalf is the type of guy to be like yelling at people, pouting on the sideline. His reception, did you see that catch he had? It was a great catch. But then he just like ran out of bounds.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, why don't you try and you had a safety coming at you. I think you had another guy in front of you blocking for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, again, like I've seen him do plays like that, and it's just like he gives up. The guy gives up, dude. And albeit, you're unhappy with how Geno's performing, yeah. But I mean, that's the type of attitude that's going to make it worse.
No, I get that, but I do think though I feel for the receivers though at the same time because and listen, Geno of course had the great year last year, a little up and down this year, but at the end of the day, I mean they're still a 5-3 football team. But I do side with the receivers sometimes where it's like I feel like a guy is wasted in this game. It's like DK Metcalf, all you have to do is throw it in the vicinity, Tony.
Yeah,
he's gonna catch it though, right or no?
Yeah, no, you're completely right.
So. This is an interesting scenario. And you look at, the Seahawks, obviously the Lions were a big win. You beat the Browns when they were compromised. And then other than that, you've beaten the Panthers, the Giants, and the Cardinals. So I think there's definitely some questions. Next 2 weeks, Commanders, Rams. I mean, those are games that they should win, but the Rams, I'm sure, will be out for some of vengeance after the way they got dismantled week 1.
Oh, yeah, dude.
We'll see if Stafford's healthy by then, but definitely some questions to be answered. And I do think one thing Baltimore has always
Yeah.
made it tough on opponents at M&T Park, Stadium.
I mean, they just got to stop the run, though. I mean, you can't.
300 yards.
It's 300 yards on the ground. I mean, you can't be letting that up, dude. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's just an absolute killer. And then when you have DK Metcalf complaining about it on the sideline, I mean, that's gonna make it worse.
What did you make of CJ Stroud? This game was nuts.
Unbelievable, dude.
39-37. The Texans moved to 4-4. Bucks fall to 3-5. CJ Stroud, 30 of 42, 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, obviously a career high. And you look and somebody posted some stat too. It's like he already has more career touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. And Pickett started last year. And you look at how he spread the ball out here. Noah Brown, 6 for 153 in a score. Dalton Schultz, 10 for 130 in a score. And Tank Dell, Tony, 6 for 114 and 2 touchdowns. And he also hit Nico Collins. But point being, their offensive line isn't great. These receivers aren't great, but yet he's making it work. And he was supposed to be the consolation prize after they won that game late in the year, or the last game of the season that they shouldn't have, which gave at the time the Bears, who then traded it to the Panthers, the number 1 pick. But they ended up with the better quarterback. We saw Bryce Young lose again yesterday. I think after a game like this, it's very evident that CJ Stroud is going to be a star in this league. I mean, he's performed well all season. I know they had a disappointing loss to the Panthers, but he's had some great numbers to start the season.
Dude, he's had some phenomenal numbers here. Only 1 interception thrown so far this season. That's incredibly amazing. Especially for, young quarterback in this league, 14 throwing touchdowns. And in terms of yesterday, I mean, he was just feeling himself, dude. That I want to say it was the touchdown throw to Dell that it was just, I mean, Dell was just in a full out sprint, and it had to be the perfect in the basket throw at the end of the end zone, and literally just nails it, dude. You're watching this thing, it just arcs up beautifully and just literally falls right into Dell's hands.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do anything, just put his hands out, the ball was there. So the guy is incredibly efficient. He's accurate. He makes great decisions under pressure too. And to have that confidence as a 22-year-old in this league at the quarterback position, you said it. He's certainly going to have a significant future in this league. And it's great for the Texans. I mean, they're at 4-4 now too. So it's they could be a competitive team.
I mean, how about the final minute of this game, 16 plays were run. And the last touchdown drive for the Texans, 6 plays, 75 yards in 40 seconds.
That's crazy.
I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. You saw Baker on the sideline, obvious frustration here. This was a game that they felt they had. He hit Cade Otton for one of 2 touchdowns late in this game. Otton, 6 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Evans led the team in receiving yards with 87 on 4 catches. Godwin was kept in check, 2 for 16. I mean, you look at Baker, I mean, he did have a decent game. But I think the whole narrative here is you can't give the ball to CJ Stroud with time on the clock. He's going to take the team, down the field. And it's amazing. I mean, they've really been the dumpster fire of the NFL the last couple of years. And I mean, it seems like DeMeco Ryans is doing a good job at head coach, and they have their quarterback. So it's amazing how quickly, that situation's turned around.
Yeah, no, it really is crazy. What do you think happens to Baker in Tampa Bay?
Maybe they give him one more game and then they lose. And it's not even the fact that he's playing terrible, Tony, but it's he
had a great game.
Yeah, exactly. Only 9 incompletions, so no interceptions. But at the same time, once they're really out of it, which, I mean, once you're at 3-6, I think it's safe to say that'll be the case. What's the point of not giving Kyle Trask a look to see if he's going to be the future quarterback, or you need to bring in someone else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's tough for him, dude.
12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Baker would have been another guy that would have been interesting, like Dobbs.
Yeah.
As a backup option for the Jets,
The evil laugh.
Let's get some evil comments quick, too.
Dude, there's a lot of evil comments in here, dude. Let's run it back a little bit here, boys. Let's see. Here we are. Back to the Titan Raw podcast. Jay Sirs says, LMAO, I would listen to that. And then Lonnie says, Jay, Matt built the haters factory. He throws a ball every time the Jets play. Jay Bird says, got an all-time pick of Tony this weekend, by the way.
Wait, was that the one in the group chat or no? Like you on the shuttle? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
Did he send?
What
I didn't even
no, there
see.
was a picture. I don't know. That was
No,
in the
there's a
group
picture
chat.
of us just like
You-
on the shuttle,
Okay.
smiling.
But what is you know? I guess what I was asking is, you know what he's referring to?
If
or
he
no?
did take a picture of me, I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh, so this is a surprise.
This is
to you.
new, dude.
Okay,
yeah.
I wasn't
Send
sure.
it over, Jay. Sends it over. Dude.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan says we need to win tonight. We have a chance to win. Jay Bird says, no, Brian. I said the Dolphins are going to say 9 to the Chiefs, but you cut me off mid-sentence. What else is new?
But the only thing I would say there, Jay, and listen, I'm not to say
Joni.
I haven't got too riled before and went mid-sentence on anybody. I'm never saying I
Fuck
didn't.
off, Tony.
I
Okay.
never said I didn't do one of those. But at the same time, Tony did kind of agree with me
So
that
shut the fuck up, Tony.
that was a cover-up, though, no? Not to poke fun at Jay, but Tony did agree with me.
Don't bring me into this, dude. This is your thing.
Why'd you agree to
dude.
it then?
This is your thing. This is your thing.
Okay, but I'm
dude.
asking.
Oh my God.
Exactly. But we love you, Jay, of course.
Obviously. How do you feel about the way you spelled the word Brian?
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me of every time I get takeout, and then I look on the bag and it says
Ryan.
Ryan. Why is it always? We just assume everybody's Ryan these days. Like, there's no Bryans. They're all Ryans. No, it's just been happening my whole life, Tony. Okay. Do I stutter when I say pick up for Brian? Is that how I need to say it every time I call in? Is that what I need to do, Tony? I'm asking you.
I think it might be, dude.
Because I just say, a name for the order, and I always just say Brian. And for some reason, I mean, is that confusing to you, Brian? That sounds like Ryan.
No, it sounds like Brian.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Continue though.
Matt Ryan being a real shtick in the mud today. I'm not apologizing to Tony if the Jets win. They need to win because of Zach Wilson to make me apologize. That's how he sounds, I think, today. And then Jay Bird confirms Dolphins are fraudulent,
Which is great.
which
for
is
us.
great. And then talking sports with Jake, by the way,
We'll see on
also
Black Friday.
says Dolphins are frauds. Tua is not that good. And then we had Hot Take Johnny in the house. Good morning, gentlemen.
HTJ. I heard
Shout
Dave
out.
mention him today on
Really?
Rick and Dave. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He calls in frequently.
I
to the
think he
show.
called in this morning. I missed
Yeah,
the
he
call,
calls in a lot, dude.
but I heard them talking about it afterwards.
Shout out to the company. Shout out to Downtime TV. Nick's on tonight. Can't wait for that. RJ returns. How about the Giants? I just threw $1,000 down on them to win the Super Bowl.
He's going sarcastic today.
I really hope he is
No,
sarcastic.
he is, Tony. He is. I know he's hurting because of Daniel Jones. We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
Why is kiss that money goodbye? No, just joking. OJ Bird, the state taxes are real. Tyreek Hill in Florida.
yeah, it
definitely.
is. But like I said, there's no need to talk about it, though. That's all. He should have said, focus on the game.
Yeah, focus on the
on
game.
winning a Super Bowl.
No, he's
How about
not.
that? Oh no,
He's not focused.
He
No,
needs
no.
his
No,
bag.
the
Jay.
Jets. Andy Reid. Oh.
Oh, Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
He's a dog, though. He's a dog. That's what he said.
You said that? Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. When Tony, when Tony gets the pencil out, it's a good one. I mean, I'm glad. I'm happy to be contributing to Bites. Tony. I'm happy to be doing it.
All right, focus up here. My mother in the house says, good morning,
Good
fellas.
morning.
Giants were embarrassing. You know where she's commenting from? The beautiful, I don't know. I don't know if to
Borgata?
say Borgata, yeah. It's the Borgata, dude.
When did they get there?
Yesterday they left.
And then tonight too, or go back later today?
They must be going back later today.
Okay,
My mother has work on Tuesdays.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But jealous. The buffet.
The buffet, dude. They went to Angeline's again last night.
Oh, you're pissed.
Dude, my mother got like this lobster tail with breadcrumbs on it and linguine.
Stop,
and it's just
stop,
oh
stop,
my
stop,
god, my
stop,
dad
stop.
got this like fish. I forget what the fish dish is called. Doesn't matter. It looked freaking delicious. Send me a picture of it. Derek Ho says hi there.
Hi, Derek.
Jay Bird says hi there.
Wow, another night, Tony. Going home tomorrow.
Going tomorrow. Wow.
Another night of gambling, Tony.
That is another night. That's awesome.
Have fun.
Lonnie says good morning to my mom, and then he says CJ Stroud is a fucking baller.
Yeah,
he
100%.
is certainly a baller, dude.
You know who's not? Clayton Tune, who got the start for the Cardinals yesterday. How about the Browns? 27-0. Sean
Clayton
Watson
Tune.
coming back from injury here, 19 of 30, 219, 2 scores. And their leading receiver, Amari Cooper, 5 receptions,
We got Hot Take Johnny on the
yards, and a touchdown. Hot Take Johnny.
You want now? You want me to
talk about the eulogy for the New York Giants? Maybe for Brian Dable? Maybe a trade to the Bills in the offseason? Whoa! How dare we say that?
Wow, dude. All right. We're getting Hot Take Johnny through here. Let's see. Hot Take Johnny, you're live on the sports board, bud. Hot Take Johnny, are you there?
Hot Take Johnny? Hello?
Hello? Did he not?
I guess he's not there. He tried. Oh,
I hear somebody. Hold on, stand by. Technical difficulties. Bluetooth.
Bluetooth?
Nothing? Anything? Anyone? Oh, no.
Bluetooth
All right,
sound today?
we're going straight speaker now. All right. Hot Take Johnny, you're on the sports board. What's up, dude?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
How we doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. I will keep the volume down this time.
Turn off the radio there in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
What was that? It sounds like I'm on your phone and people are far away.
Yeah.
Bluetooth's down today.
Bluetooth having a little bit of a struggle right
The
now.
Roadcaster.
Gotcha. Would you like me to try calling back in another minute?
Sure. Yeah. Want to do that? We can do that.
Yeah, because I can only really hear you. I can't hear anyone.
All right, yeah.
Brian's across the room.
Yeah,
Johnny.
we'll give him another.
Yeah, I can't hear Brian very well.
Okay. All right. Go back in like.
voice in the background.
Yeah. Go back in a couple minutes.
All right, sounds good, gentlemen.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so we'll give him another minute there.
Give
just
me another
mentioning
minute, really.
the Browns here, the blowout win. Obviously, really not much competition going against the Cardinals, but they're 5-3, and it is amazing, Tony, how competitive this AFC North is. Every team's over 500, and the worst record is you have 3 teams at 5-3, and the Ravens are 7-2. And obviously coming off that big win. And how about this? The AFC North this week 4-0, Tony. So maybe the best division in the AFC potentially.
Dude, that's what they say.
So teams jockeying for position. I still expect the Steelers to fall off because of that offense. But we'll have to see what happens. I still think we'll see it play out, but the Bengals are the most talented team in the division. Another game from yesterday, we saw the Saints 24-17 over the Bears. So the magic for Bridgette is
I was just testing the Bluetooth.
Oh,
dude.
gotcha.
I can call him back right now if you want me to.
Yeah. So while we're going to call back, just going to say Bridgette magic is over with 3 picks, 220 yards. And the Saints, while it was closer than maybe it needed to be, are 5-4. Taysom Hill, 2 touchdowns, 1 throwing, 1 receiving yesterday. Also ran for 52 yards. Carr, no turnovers or sacks. So really, that's all you could ask for. Very odd. Michael Thomas, only 1 target, no completions. But the Saints find themselves 5-4 and in first place in the NFC South. And it's just one of those divisions where somebody has to win it. And it seems like the Saints have put themselves in a position here with a 1-game lead over the Falcons, who collapsed late to the Vikings yesterday, where they should be going to the playoffs with Derek Carr. So I'm sure he's getting a chuckle out of what's going on with the Raiders this season. Do we have
the Raiders? Hot Take Johnny on the line.
Are you there?
Still not working.
Wow.
Come on, man. It was just working. Oh,
is that it?
Oh,
I hear him on
dude.
one end. Why is he not on the other?
I think we're blowing it, dude. I think it's blown. I can yoss you the phone for the speaker.
Wait, what's that again?
I can give you the phone.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I can hear him now a little. I can hear him well enough now. If you put it maybe between the 2 of you.
Yeah?
yeah. What about now?
Yeah, there we go.
All right, go ahead.
Good morning, gentlemen. Shout out to Downtime TV. Shout out to the company. How you doing?
Great. Excited for this Monday Night Football game later. How you hanging in there, Jones? The ACL. I mean, where you at? Just hoping for that draft pick.
So you guys didn't. I mean, you read my message on the air. I'm all in, baby. DeVito, Danny DeVito, right? I mean, he was great on
First career touchdown pass, Tony.
Right? So, I mean, great actor, should be able to act as a quarterback pretty well, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, hopefully they can scout the correct quarterback. I think it's almost a toss-up these days. I mean, Ohio State quarterbacks were historically not good, and C.J. Stroud is him, you know. And as I mentioned on DNR this morning, I worry about with the rest of the season probably being all losses, maybe a win or so, that there becomes a habit of losing on this team, and players start not doing the extra things that you need to win, and then that carries over to next year when they get the rookie quarterback in there, and he comes into a team that doesn't do all the little things that win, because winning comes down to a lot of the little things. I think when you're losing, a lot of guys may stop trying to do all those extra little things. So that's my biggest concern, is that they don't fall into bad habits the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Rick and Dave were talking about it this morning, but they were saying, like, you know, of course, the thing's going to be pointed to this season for the failures of the Giants, you know, at 2-7 is the injuries. But then, you know, they were saying too, just the effort, and, you know, that some of that needs to fall on the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Take your Jets for an example. I mean, they've had injuries and they keep coming out and competing, whether they win or not. They've been in every game but the Dallas game.
Right.
So you can still compete with injuries. The defense has no excuses. There hasn't been a major injury on the defense, and yesterday was unacceptable defensively. And I think Rex Ryan said it on DNR this morning. There's no creativity offensive, you know, on the offensive side. And once again, that doesn't come down to players. I mean, yeah, you can only do so much with DeVito, but you can be creative prior to this, which I don't think they've done. And I mean, Houston has cycled through offensive linemen, and they've got a rookie quarterback, and they're winning games. So, you know, with DeVito, yeah, we're going to lose games, but prior to this, still no excuse. No excuse.
Exactly.
And the fact that they still have DeVito, and they haven't gotten, once Jones got hurt, they didn't go out and get a real backup. Once again, failure on the front office.
And I kind of was just thinking this to myself on my way to work this morning about how, you know, the Bills with the loss last night are 5-4, obviously not doing great. Allen, you know, some turnover issues, I think, this season. The way the Giants have gone, I wouldn't rule out a potential Brian Daboll trade to the Bills this offseason. Just watch out for that.
Brian Daboll trade?
Yeah.
You think they may get rid of McDermott and bring in Brian Daboll?
I think McDermott is gone. I think, unless they obviously end up making the Super Bowl, but it's been too many years where they're viewed as a top team. They don't get there. And we've seen Josh Allen play the best of his football of his career with Brian Daboll.
I mean, that would be interesting. I don't think the Giants would make that trade unless Buffalo
first rounder, though,
blew them over, because you can't keep cycling head coaches. You start to get into the, you know, it just, once again, I talked, you know, the culture of losing. If you have coach, you know, you get another system in there with new guys, the wing stay, you know, and then you get a whole new coaching staff in there. You got to rebuild with that. I think they give, unless, like I said, Buffalo blows them away with several first round picks.
But you wouldn't,
even then, maybe
you really wouldn't do it for one first round pick?
No, I think stability is important, and first round pick is a 50-50 shot, right? Maybe a little bit better, but is that worth upheaval in your system again? I don't think it's worth it. I mean, one first round pick from the Bills, that guy is not making the difference between anything.
Yeah. I guess I was just more thinking of, you know, you got a new quarterback coming in, so if you were going to change the system, the time would be now. And I don't know. It just seems like this year. I mean, talk about a complete flop. I mean, even in I know, like we said, the injuries and then that, but I mean, you probably, I mean, what was going into this year? Were you expecting to take a step forward, or, I mean, what were you expecting?
Yeah. I mean, I'm an optimist in life. So when my team has some optimism, I generally take it too far. I expected them to compete with Dallas this year. Maybe not quite Philadelphia, but if things went, I kind of thought Philadelphia may have that Super Bowl loss hangover, like you see a lot of teams, and thought there may be also with injuries and losing coordinators, they may miss the playoffs. Separate with Giants, I thought they may just have that type of off year that teams do. So I thought they may slide back, and the Giants may compete with Dallas. And I'm too much of an optimist at times, but yeah, I thought so. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So enough about the Giants. You really think the Jets? I got home late. I just joined right before I sent the message over, so I haven't heard much about your thoughts with the Jets. You think they got a real chance at the division here? Because I at this point, seeing how Miami is, if the Jets can beat them, I think the Jets might have a shot at this division.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing, and obviously it's not a division game tonight, but it is important if you were going to get in via wild card, is to win the game tonight. But then, of course, one matchup with the Bills, two matchups with the Dolphins, and another matchup with the Patriots. And obviously, they're 2-7, so you should beat them. But history hasn't been that kind on the Jets side of things. But they definitely are in it. But I would say they must win tonight. I think, in a game with the Raiders the following week, and obviously they're riding high after getting that win under, interim head coach Antonio Pierce. But a game you should win. But I just think this one's important because if you could win these two and then, before you play the Bills and the Dolphins, I think that would be huge. But it really depends on what they do the next couple of weeks. And there's just no margin for error. But I think it is something to be said at the fact that this is even a conversation 7 games in with your backup quarterback.
Yeah, true. So if they win tonight, yeah, and honestly, I think the Jets could win against Miami both games.
Yeah.
I question Miami's ability to win when teams don't give up the big play, because I feel like if you're playing against good teams, you have to be able to run the ball some. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to fight, like there's that saying, any given Sunday, the inches around you, those type of small things. And I think the Miami Dolphins are kind of the finesse team, and finesse doesn't win big games. Like the Chiefs, look at the Chiefs, man, they run the ball. Yes, they have Kelsey and they have Mahomes, but how did they win the Super Bowl last year? They went to run the ball in the second half of that game. And their offensive line dominated that second half of the game in the Super Bowl and won. I don't think the Dolphins can do that. I know they run the ball well, but I think a lot of it is against teams that aren't as good, and it's a lot of motion. And when you get good defenses that don't fall for that motion and stuff, and you just go straight up, I think they struggle with that. I think the Jets defense, 2 good corners, I think they're going to have a hard time against the Jets.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully we'll see that, Black Friday game, 3:00, day after Thanksgiving. That'll be the first time that they play before playing on the 17th of December. So last thing for you here, with the game tonight, who wins it and what are you expecting to see?
If there is any other coach of the Chargers other than Staley, I'd pick the Chargers, but I talk about a coach that finds ways to lose games. I mean, him and Smith in Atlanta. I don't know, man. I just have a hard. They're 2-5, right? The Chargers are.
No, they're 3-4.
Say it again.
3-4.
3-4. Still, that team should be way better than that. I hate to do it. I mean, I don't say hate to do it, but because of Zach Wilson, I still think the Jets find a way. Because I think it's going to be close. The Jets keep every game close, and then. Do I trust that team to make, to not go for it on 4th and 8 from their own 20, against the defense? And, no. So, yeah, we're going to go with the Jets. I don't know. Let's say find a way to score. Plus, the Chargers defense isn't good. I say 2017 Jets.
Let's go. That's funny. That actually is kind of what I had in mind score wise. So just going under there, and the Jets, of course, would be picking up a huge win to go to 5-3. But we'll see what happens. We hope it's an entertaining game. But we appreciate you calling in, Hot Take, and we'll catch up with you soon. All right.
And I hope I wasn't too loud today.
No, we appreciate it, bud. Thank you.
I wasn't meaning to yell. I just get passionate. I don't realize I have a family where we all just talk loud. So sorry about that.
Just don't say anything bad about Zach Wilson, and you'll be good.
All right, thank you, man.
See you guys. Yeah. I don't know why I said guys, but
No.
just
You
hot
know
take.
why. You know
Johnny.
why.
Why did I say guys?
I don't know why. You tell me why.
All right, everything okay over there? Wish we had a camera angle on that one, Tony.
Are you kidding me?
Digging for some
Brian?
gold.
You know,
You know what, Tony? What are you gonna say?
nothing.
No. You
No,
see-
that's it, dude. I don't have to explain myself.
No, we have to have the defeatist attitude.
No. Oh, you want to know? I mean, what the hell, dude? We've all been every guy has been in that situation where your underwear's riding up a little bit. You're sitting down, all right? And you gotta you just dig it out a little bit, dude.
No, it was one of those
All
things.
right?
I'm not saying you're wrong, Tony. I think it was more I happen to look over and then you're going after it.
That
So
you
it's-
happen to say, guys, look at
Yeah,
my crotch.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, he mentioned Arthur Smith. The Falcons lose a tight one, Tony, yesterday. How about Josh Dobbs? All this talk about
Oh, my
Josh
God.
Dobbs comes off the Pine, just joined the team Tuesday. No one even knows his name, and he's beating the Falcons here on the road after Jaron Hall had to leave this game with an injury, only 6 pass attempts in, and he finds Brandon Powell with 22 seconds left, the game-winning touchdown on an 11-play, 75-yard drive. And you look at the second half, he had 2 touchdown drives, even completed a 2-point conversion, was using his legs as well. And we talked about how this was an important get for Minnesota here. What did you think about Dobbs' performance? I mean, pretty remarkable. No, 66 yards on the ground and a touchdown as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think I didn't know he would be that much of a threat running,
Yeah.
honestly, at all. And then you combine that, 20 for 30, 158 through the air, 2 touchdowns, sacked 3 times.
No turnovers.
But no turnovers, yeah, which is huge there. No fumbles, no anything, which is great, dude. I mean, I think that's super impressive. And I think for the Vikings, come off of what happened to Kirk Cousins, I mean, that's kind of obviously nothing is best case scenario at this point, but it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Justin Jefferson potentially returning next week. I think it's one of those situations, where you say never.
Yeah, of course not. dude.
5-4. Dobbs seems competent. You have Jordan Addison, you have TJ Hawkinson. I think it's a matter of, the defense stepping up. And yesterday, I think it did a decent job. I mean, got an interception out of Heineke and, only allowed the Falcons 3.9 yards per rush.
Was it the interception to a lineman?
I'm trying to think of what, I could figure that out here. Hold on a second.
I can try to figure it out. Interceptions, Byron Murphy Jr. I think that was him.
He's a corner.
Oh, no.
You're thinking of probably a different game.
Probably.
So Minnesota post Kirk Cousins here, staying afloat. And coming up, you're gonna get home against the Saints on Sunday, and then at Broncos, home to Bears, at Raiders. So an opportunity here for them to hang around, potentially make a wild card. I mean, I think the division will be tough. Detroit right now, 6-2. So a game and a half lead there. But remarkable what Dobbs has done. And that really, I think, defines Tony, a true professional, tough circumstances, and he's able to get the job done. Speaking of tough circumstances, the Rams, sans Matthew Stafford yesterday, going with Brett Rippon at quarterback, and they lose to the Packers here 20-3 at Lambeau. Jordan Love, kind of a recovery game for him, 20 of 26, 228. The Packers ran the ball effectively, something they haven't done all season. Jones was their leading rusher with 73. Also had a touchdown, but Wilson, Dillon, Reed, the wide receiver, on an end around, and Jordan Love all ran the ball for the Packers. Luke Musgrave, the rookie tight end, led them in receiving, 3 receptions for 51 yards. So a much needed win for the Packers. We'll see how they finish out the second half of their year here, but I think there probably are going to be some rumblings about Matt LaFleur if this thing doesn't finish pretty. But I think they gave you an example yesterday. The defense stepping up and running the ball is how this team is going to stay in football games.
Yeah, seems like it. Do you think that's, I know how you feel about, the running games and stuff, but I don't know how sustainable you think that strategy is for Green Bay.
Well, I just think when you're at Lambeau Field in the second half of the season, temperatures are frigid. I think that could work, But the question is going to be when Jordan Love is in a 2-minute drill and you need to win a game, are you going to be able to? I think they're probably going to end up 7-10, 8-9, and I think it's a 50-50 shot that not only is he the starting quarterback next year, but that Matt LaFleur hangs around.
Wow.
Right or no? I mean,
No,
I think it's very
I
much so up
agree.
in the air.
I mean, I think that this season, I don't know. I feel like Jordan Love had a lot of expectations he's not meeting.
Yeah.
The Packers
hot
in general.
start.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they feel like they have to clean house, I don't know, man. I mean, Green Bay, it's a tough situation
Yeah.
without Rodgers, and then it's just like you got to just figure it out. I mean,
oh no, God.
I was gonna say, like, they're another team. Like, look at the Patriots. I mean, they lost their franchise quarterback, and they have not recovered really from
Years
that,
later.
dude. Years later.
And speaking of that, 20-17, the Commanders get the road win here. And the Patriots were in this late, but Mac Jones, another timely interception for the other team there. So he had 20 incompletions yesterday, 24 44, 220, touchdown and interception, a QBR of 29.5. So not a pretty game on his end. Really the big offense for the Patriots. Stevenson, a 64-yard touchdown, had 87 yards on 9 carries. Other side of things, another 300-yard game for Sam Howell. Did have 16 incompletions, but threw for 325, sacked 3 times, 1 interception, but did have a touchdown. Terry McLaurin involved in this one, 5 receptions, 73 yards. They also ran for 124 yards, and Jahan Dotson caught the touchdown pass, the second-year receiver, 4 receptions for 69 yards. But kind of as I've been saying all along, seems like it's part of the plan here for New England moving forward to lose as many games as possible.
Well, what do you mean by part of the plan?
To get a high draft pick.
No, I understand that. Yeah, but you think that Mac Jones threw an interception on purpose?
No, but that's why Mac Jones is going to play no matter what, because they know he's terrible and will do stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
I kind of really do think that, though. I mean, Belichick, he's always trying to outsmart people. As bad as Jones has played though this year, Tony, in all seriousness, the old iron fist Bill Belichick, I don't think would be starting him.
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it too, I guess.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think the Commanders,
he sucks.
Obviously aren't going to be a playoff team this year, but I do think there's some hope there with Howell. I mean, every week it seems like he's hitting 300 yards.
Yeah, which is pretty sweet, dude. He was really good. Actually.
5th round pick last
year. He had a couple other good throws too, where he was like, dropping the ball in, and it was like just like very accurate. Efficient thrower. He can fucking hammer it too, and if he needs to, which is great. So
so we'll see if he keeps on building on these strong games here. The Colts 27-13 in Charlotte over the Panthers. Panthers a league worst 1-7.
So bad.
The Colts 2 pick sixes of Bryce Young, who threw 3 interceptions. So the defense stepping up for Indy, which has struggled on defense this year. We're working on a 3-game losing streak. But Kenny Moore, a 49-yard pick 6 and a 66-yard pick 6. And that was much needed for this Colts team. Offensively, didn't get much. You take away the 2 pick 6s, and you'd have a tie game at 13. So that was big for the Colts. Jonathan Taylor couldn't get anything going on the ground, only 2.6 yards per carry on 18 attempts. But he did have a touchdown reception, also caught 5 passes. Pittman, the leading receiver, 8 for 64. Minshew, that 1 touchdown pass, but only 127 through the air. But the Colts, they stay alive here. And this is the type of game, even though the Colts are down to a backup quarterback here, but we see the way that the Panthers have played this year. You can't lose games to a team like the Carolina Panthers. So, they get the job done here, are in the middle of it in their division, but probably, have lost a little too much here in the early going to catch Jacksonville. You feel a little bad for Bryce Young here, 1-7, a lot of interceptions, obviously not a ton of help around him other than Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel bad about it, especially, the whole storyline you laid down with CJ Stroud too. I mean, it's going to be like, I mean, that's got to be gut wrenching for him to be going through this type of season.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's tough though. But I mean, I don't know, dude. I think people are kind of writing him off a little bit too. Almost like honestly, like Desmond Ritter too. I feel people write him off kind of quickly.
Right.
I think that these guys could still end up being, good enough quarterbacks to remain in the NFL. You don't think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Bryce Young. I mean, you're taking first overall. You're halfway through your first season. I mean, we're gonna let it play out. We saw Goff struggle mightily in his first year. Next thing you know, third year, he's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then at the helm on his second stop of a very good Lions team. So you don't really know from the first year. It'll just be a matter of Frank Reich determining, what pieces will work best around Bryce Young. Obviously, of course, people point to height and turnovers, but I think with better help around him, he should step up. But it's going to be interesting to see though how he reacts to all this losing, all this failure, because it's a very similar situation, to his former teammate, Evan Neal on the Giants. They were on those Alabama teams together, not used to losing. So it's like, how is he going to take this off season, the rest of this season? I think, that remains to be seen.
Yeah. I think maybe a sit down with Saban would help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say for my mind, the best game of the day, and we did have, a bunch of games that were up there. The Philadelphia Eagles, 28-23, hanging on against the Dallas Cowboys here. And Dallas, coming up yards short with CeeDee Lamb on a throw there, but a lot of back and forth up until that point. And it seemed like, when we talk about, the first half of this game, that we were really in for a shootout. You had 31 points in the first half, only 20 in the second half. Neither team really pulling away. I think Philly kind of tapered out there in the fourth quarter offensively, where you thought it could get out of hand when they had 11-point lead, but Dallas able to battle back here. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't a surprise to me. It just seems like these football games, especially Eagle over Dallas recently, I think they've won 7 out of 8, whatever the case may be. But good teams win football games. We saw them pick up an early 4th and 1 conversion from like their own 20, the brotherly shove, of course, and just played a really sound football game. And you look at the numbers for Philadelphia. Hurts, no picks, sacked 3 times, threw for 207. They ran for 109 as a team on the ground. Swift a little bottled up in this one, but Hurts and Gainwell with rushing touchdowns. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith each caught touchdown passes. So, obviously you look at the stats, and actually Dallas had better numbers. I mean, Prescott threw for 374, 3 touchdowns. Didn't run the ball as much, only 73 yards on the ground. Lamb all over the field, 11 for 191. Ferguson and Tolbert catching the touchdowns for the Cowboys. But at the end of the day, Dak didn't really do anything to mess it up. I mean, he was sacked a lot there in the fourth quarter. Brandon Graham, I know, got in on him a couple of times there. But at the end of the day, I mean, coming up short again. And Philly showing that it doesn't always need to be pretty. We've seen them have a lot of one-score games, but they sit here 8-1, undefeated at home. Dallas 2-3 on the road, and only 5-3.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, dude. I mean, excuse me. You always look at games like these, that have obviously like one possession games here. And you tend to blame the quarterback for taking a sack or for, maybe not throwing the best pass at that point. But I mean, I don't know. I understand maybe Dak Prescott was a little inefficient. Dropped back 44 times with only 29 completions there. So it's tough with 15 incompletions. But I don't know, man. I think like what you were saying too, I think he did really play his heart out. He played his best, I thought. I think this is one of his better games this season, honestly.
Right.
Limiting turnovers, 3 throwing touchdown passes. He did great. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the Cowboys could do a better job in defending the Eagles. I mean, you'd expect with the Cowboys defense, they can contain the Hurts, they can contain their offense a little bit more. Again, like I know they didn't run a ton, on the ground. Like you said, the Cowboys do have better numbers. But I don't know. I mean, you got to defend the ball a little bit better.
Yeah.
28 points, like.
Yeah. I mean, they stepped up in the fourth quarter, but that was after 2 touchdown drives to the Eagles. You
Yeah.
gotta kind of take control of these games, and it's not going to be easy. And nobody's had an easy time of defending the Eagles this year with AJ Brown, with Devontae Smith, with the brotherly shove, all of that stuff. But you have to find a way to win. And how interesting it is, 9 weeks in, the only team that was able to do that was the New York Jets.
Zach Wilson.
The New York Jets. So, before we talk about Zach Wilson and the New York Jets, just quickly, Tony, we saw the Raiders blow out the Giants 30-6. The Jones ACL injury, but a good moment. Tommy DeVito, the first touchdown pass of his career, late to Wan'Dale Robinson. So good for Danny and the fellas.
Yeah, sure, dude.
And congrats to Antonio Pierce. There were some reports too. I don't know if you saw this. I guess right before McDaniels got fired, Pierce gave some speech to the team in the players' meeting. Saying that he wanted to. Related to when the Giants beat the Patriots when they were undefeated. And I guess McDaniels got tight because he's been in New England. And he said, Don't talk about the Patriots. And then next thing you know, next day, out the door.
Was that the speech I heard of him cursing? And he was cursing a ton, dude, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if that was the post-game speech after the game, too. I think this is before that.
So he curses a lot, this guy.
Basically. But I think congratulations to him. And listen, of course, the Giants are battered. They're playing Tommy DeVito. Fuck out of here. But I think it's still a feel-good win for Vegas. They're 4-5,
dude.
Season's still alive, and this gives them an opportunity to see what Aiden Connell can do. If he's going to be their future quarterback. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so. And honestly, dude, I saw them celebrating their win in the locker room after the game and everything, cigars, whatnot,
The drinking or not?
I didn't see any drinking around, but
there probably was some at some point, no?
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. Yeah, of course. But people were like, "Oh wow, the Raiders celebrating his victory. That's how stupid is that?" It's you know what, dude? Again, how often have we talked about the culture or lack thereof, in that locker room?
Right.
And it's just Pierce's first win in the NFL.
Let him enjoy.
What the fuck, dude? They're trying to lay down a new regime, honestly. A new culture, a new feeling, a new vibe, a new attitude for these players. And that's a great way to start it, dude. So
yeah. Congrats to them. And then the last game of the night here, not to my surprise, but the Bengals hang on 24-18 over the Bills. So another game here, a big game. The Bills, we know they did blow out the Dolphins earlier this year, but they've lost a lot of these games that they should have won. You point to the Patriots game, the Jets game. Here was an opportunity to kind of get back in the thick of things in the AFC, and they're unable to get the job done. And this is despite the Bengals only scoring 3 points here in the second half. But vintage Joe Burrow, we mentioned obviously a lot of the damage coming in the first half, but 31 of 44, 348, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked once. He did this without really the aid of a running game. Buffalo did a good job stopping the run, only 54 yards on 22 carries. T. Higgins, the leading receiver here, 8 receptions, 110 yards, and Drew Sample and Irv Smith Jr. Catching the touchdown passes. So he made an effort to get the tight ends the ball. Not only Smith, but Tanner Hudson, who only had 4 receptions coming into this game, had 4 receptions for 45 yards. So the Bengals, another impressive victory, coming off that defeat, of the Niners. The Bills 5-4. That's way below, where they expected to be at this point in the year. Allen, 26 of 38, 258, a touchdown and interception. The one interception, while it didn't end up costing them the game, you just think about overall consistency here. Only 7 points in the first half. Touchdown drive, maybe too little, too late, but just kind of a theme. We've seen from Buffalo, big games. They don't win them. They lost to the Bengals in the playoffs last year. And now they find themselves, a Jets win here will get them a half game ahead of the Bills in the AFC East. And the Bills really thought this was their year once again.
Yeah, they've been thinking that for a while now, but I don't know, dude. Josh Allen should have done better.
Should have done better.
No?
No, I think so.
Again, you look at the numbers matched up here against Burrow. And again, in a game like this, that is one possession. you have to look to your quarterback a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and be like, hey, man, like this was a tight one possession game. Like all you really need to do is make one big play. And like this could have been a tie game. This could have went to overtime. This could have been a win for the Bills, you know, like, so, and again, looking at him, I mean, yeah, he was good, but he was outplayed by Joe Burrow. And it's like, at this point, you know, these two should be like neck and neck. And in my opinion, I feel like Josh Allen should be better than Joe Burrow.
I mean, he should be at least in the same conversation.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, since last season, there hasn't been a doubt in my mind because, like I said, big games doesn't seem like he steps up.
Doesn't.
And you know, some of that has to fall on Sean McDermott as well. But you know, their defense tightened up in the second half, but they couldn't get the offense going. And there's too much talent. You saw even with Dawson Knox on IR, Dalton Kincaid had a great game. I know he got banged up a little bit. But you got to do a better job of getting Gabe Davis the ball as well. So I think it's very disappointing. And they, you know, after a Monday Night Football game with the Broncos next week, I mean, have a really tough schedule to finish out here.
Oh, yeah.
Jets, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers, Pats, and then Dolphins. So,
oh my goodness,
it's not a lock, Tony, that they make the playoffs.
I would say it's anything but, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a really tough schedule, other than obviously the Broncos.
Yeah, and the Patriots, I think.
Oh yeah,
I know
the Patriots
beat them last time, but they're gonna kick.
Yeah,
they're gonna kick the doors.
Forget
in
it,
on that
dude.
one.
Kick the doors in.
And
Yeah,
I know
look at-
you've. What were you gonna say?
I'm looking at Rex Ryan right here. I think.
Oh my!
Did he get some work done or something?
No, he definitely did. No, it's scary. And then when you combine that, Tony, with the teeth falling out and being extra white,
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. I honestly don't. Midlife crisis, maybe.
Probably, right? How
Yeah.
old is he?
I mean, he's got to be almost 60. I think he's like 58, 59, if I had to guess.
Really? I thought he was way older than that.
What is he? 60. Okay.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough to see. But I was gonna say, because I feel like going into this game, you were somewhat suspect, you know, on Cincinnati. Now in that three-way tie for second. But I mean, are you more? You know, we've seen a couple good performances here in a row by the Bengals.
Yeah, you definitely have. I mean, I think you know, I knew that Joe Burrow was going to come along. You know, we talked about it every week.
Mhm.
The preseason, the calf, missed a lot. Give him some time. You know, he'll be
Right.
fine. But really, my biggest concern was probably the offensive line for Cincinnati. But I mean, I think he got sacked once, right?
Yeah.
He got sacked
Yeah.
once last night for a loss of 5. He had time in the pocket. Certainly had the ability to throw a lot. With I think about 44 dropbacks. You know, that was it would definitely surprise me how well he was protected. And again, I mean, if you protect Joe Burrow, he's going to be finding someone downfield. You know,
Mhm.
so
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. You know, they're home to the Texans next week. And then in Baltimore, you know, so Baltimore beat them by 3 earlier this year in Cincinnati. Another division game with the Steelers, and then at Jacksonville, home to the Colts and Vikings, another Steelers game in Pittsburgh, at the Chiefs, and then home to the Browns to finish up. So some tough opponents there, some easier ones. But I really do have confidence in the Bengals, in Joe Burrow. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, obviously, optimistically, we'd like to see the Jets there, but if we got, you know, another Bengals Chiefs AFC Championship game, it really feels like that's what we're, you know, projecting to be.
what do you got in that game right now? Bengals.
Nah.
Really? Chiefs.
Yeah. But I think very close. It could go either way. Honestly, it's like, it's by such a small margin. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, the Chiefs like won on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. Like, it's going to be that close.
Mhm.
And obviously a lot of season left on it. So we'll see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking
of a lot of
how was the
season,
cheesecake?
Of course, that's what you see. The cheesecake was delicious. I didn't taste it, obviously. I made
Marianne cheesecake.
Marianne cheesecake.
Gotcha,
yes.
gotcha. But they raved about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, they raved about it. Manny was stoked. And then, you know, Marianne brought it. She ate the thing. She brought a piece for lunch, whatever. Put blueberries on it too. Blueberries, dude. So they love the cheesecake. And I was honestly a little nervous. First time making it on my own.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
without
Okay.
any
Okay.
supervision.
Gotcha,
you know,
gotcha.
my mother, you know, last time I made it, last few times I made it, my mother's like, you know, she's there.
Right.
This time wasn't. Made a fatal mistake, or so I thought.
Fatal?
So yeah, honestly, dude. So
Getting crazy over here.
So when you mix the batter, you want everything to be pretty smooth, right? Because you don't want like a
You want it to be smooth.
dude. Not like a clumpy cheesecake. And I guess I didn't I didn't keep the cheesecake, the cream cheese, excuse me. I didn't keep the bricks of cream cheese. I didn't keep them out of the fridge for long enough. So they were still kind of cold and they were hard to break up. So I'm like fucking mixing this batter and it's just like chunks of cream cheese. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, I'm going to screw up this freaking cheesecake. It could be a terrible thing. But it all worked out. It all worked out. It was creamy. It was fine. It was good. Must have cooked, melted in the oven. Very good job. Everything was good. But I was a little worried about it, dude. I was like kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, shit.
Were you really freaking out?
Well, I was just like, what do I do? Do I just like keep like yamming it? Because if you overbeat the batter too, that creates air pockets and it could create a bubble, and then your whole cheesecake would sink in the oven when the air bubble bursts. So yeah, I was a little worried about it. And of course, the new oven. Never worked in this oven before. Do I really know what it's like? No. Tough the ovens, dude. Yeah, it's an electric stove now too. Oh,
you never know. Very good there.
Very good there, dude.
But let's talk about tonight. Jets, Chargers. The Chargers 3.5-point favorites here at MetLife. Huge for the AFC wild card. I know I just did the again, basically.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, both teams, really need this victory here. Very good there. You think about the Jets. Obviously, the whole thing is, can they score enough? The Chargers, the talent's there, but will they put it together? Will Brandon Staley do something stupid to mess up the game? When I look at it on the surface, I think this is a last possession. Who has the football last wins this game. And the first thought in my head this morning was, the Jets win this game if they score 20 points, something that they haven't done much this year. What do you think, Tony? I mean, is that kind of where you're at, or do you see it a little differently?
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I do think the defense has to pressure Herbert. I mean, again, looking at this on paper, Justin Herbert's a better quarterback. But if Zach Wilson comes in here and plays like he's been playing the last 3 games, he keeps it a close game, limits turnovers, has a good, comes in with a couple of drives. I mean, I think, for him, for the Jets, for MetLife too, maybe beautiful night at MetLife tonight. He's got to come out and set the tone. Like win the coin toss, honestly, get the ball first drive down the field, touchdown. Like that's what you got. I just set a little bit of a tone here for Justin Herbert. You don't want him coming in here thinking it's going to be kind of a pushover game. And then, like you said, it's going to come down to I think a battle of the coaches here. And if we can't outcoach the Chargers, I mean, there's a significant problem there. We've been kind of ridiculing, Saleh and Hackett. This season for lack of creativity, not using motion, the run play option has been, very much not there for the Jets. So again, I feel like if you do that, you started motioning people, last week against the Giants, even against the Eagles too, they started getting more creative. So if you can do that, if you, I guess just kind of, like for Zach, just to limit those turnovers would be great. And then I guess like you were saying, dude, you just got to outcoach this guy, which is going to be pretty simple.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I'm just kind of thinking offensively, like what you were saying, win the coin toss, go down and score. And we've seen the red zone offense be a problem, but also we've seen them kind of, really do things conservatively at the start of games, especially. And then it seems like, I feel like Rick and Dave talk about this all the time, but then when it's like 2-minute offense or we need a field goal to send us into overtime, then they're just aggressive and Zach's able to do well. Do you think that kind of falls on Hackett, that it's never, let's just go for it, like first play, flea flicker, like it's just too much like running the ball up the middle of the first 2 plays, and then, it's 3rd and 7, we'll try a screen and hopefully can get the first down. Like it's too conservative to start.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is sometimes too conservative. I mean, I'm all for playing a little bit of a long game and establishing your running game. But you know what is my problem with that is that first play run, that's fine, but then pass. Even if you do first 2 plays running, don't run a fucking screen on 3rd and 7. That's going to go nowhere.
Right.
That's what I hate. The little dip and dunk plays that you think it's like a 2-yard throw and you're trying to gain 10. Like,
Right.
how is that going to work?
Exactly.
You might as well just run it at that point then.
Yeah.
So like they have to get more creative and they should have more confidence in Wilson throwing downfield.
Yeah, and you would think too that the play action should come into play more. They struggled to run the ball against the Giants, but Chargers defense isn't that good. And I just think Breece Hall should go over 100.
Definitely.
But there should be some deep passes down the field as well. And I want to see. I think he's questionable. Hopefully, he'll be able to play. But I want to see Allen Lazard get involved more. I feel like he's a talented receiver, and he never gets the ball.
Yeah, I know. It is tough because I feel like there's a few times that Wilson has had some great throws, and it was ended up to be to Lazard. I feel like they have a good connection. So, but again, I mean, it's just, you got a lot of different options out there too. Wilson to Wilson, like you have the opportunity for Zach Wilson to drop back like 35 times.
Yeah. So go do it.
Let's go, dude. Like the
right
Chargers.
now.
Like, we don't have another second.
Come on. Final score.
Final score. I think Jets pull away. Freaking whatchamacallit, like under 2 minutes to go, down by or tie game maybe. We end up winning 28-21. Final drive, Wilson touchdown.
And Wilson's talent.
Let's say he's 28 of 33. 225 through the air. 2 throwing touchdowns. No interceptions.
Wow.
Let's go.
I'm going to say Jets 20, Chargers 17, Legatron buzzer,
Classic
61 yards.
Wow.
Kind of similar to Justin Tucker against the the Lions way back when I'm under that football. And I think Zach, we're going to say 165, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Breece Hall, 130 yards on the ground.
I love it.
Jets 5-3. JTS.
That's crazy.
Jets.
To the world of the National Football League.
If we could just go very quickly, Tony, to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right, Tony. So I know you were a little hammered when you were watching the Rangers game on Saturday, but if you could just kind of recap a tough, was it shootout loss?
Yeah, dude. First of all, it was
3-0 up, right?
Yeah, first period, 3-0. I think Jimmy Vesey got his first goal of the game. Maybe Gustafsson. Let me pull the game up here, honestly, but definitely was a little upset. It was, I mean, any loss in the shootout is going to be tough. But obviously it was extra tough being up 3-0 after the first period. And then you end up losing 5-4, It was super tough to see, but again, just looking at the little scoring recap here, you had Jimmy Vesey in the first, 3.5 minutes into the period, by the way, too. And then 2 minutes later, you get Artemi Panarin. And then a minute after that, you get Gustafsson to score. And it's 3-0 within the first, 7 minutes of the first period. So you're thinking, okay, really long night here for the Wild. Like, Rangers are gelling. But then after that, their offense just absolutely disappeared. All right. There was no more scoring for the first period. Second period, the Wild come out, and 6 minutes in, Ryan Hartman scores his 7th of the season, and then Joel Eriksson Ek, less than a minute later, scores his 6th of the season, which, within really 40 seconds, your lead was cut from 3 goals to 1 goal. And then, third period, 2 minutes in. So we have a lot of early scoring in these periods. I don't know why that is. Matt Zuccarello scores his 3rd of the year, former Ranger great. Marco Rossi, he scores his 5th of the season.
How does Zuccarello always score against the Rangers? I swear
he does, too.
I swear last time I think it was within the first minute.
Yeah.
Just vendetta? He's a
Maybe.
little sour.
I think he is a little sour. I mean, he was a great player for New York.
Salary cap constrictions.
Yeah, it was like during the rebuild and everything. They just
Yeah.
cleaned house no matter what. So, but he's been with Minnesota now for a while, so I don't know why.
Yeah, but Ranger at heart. No?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
He's right here.
Wow.
The guy on the right, number 36. Anyway, though, and then Chris Kreider ties it up there late or midways through the third period, I should say. And then, of course, overtime, nothing happens. I mean, you're excited for the overtime. Chris Kreider, that was a big goal. I saw that goal. That was sick. But of course, overtime, nothing happens. And overtime, like, not for nothing, I think the Rangers really flubbed it in overtime. I don't think they had the fucking puck the whole time, dude.
Really?
Maybe for a little bit. They had no chances, none at all. Kind of bogus. We go to the shootout, and who else but Matt Zuccarello gets his first goal for Minnesota, and then Panarin ties it up there. Kaprizov misses, Benajad misses, Matt Boldy scores, Vincent Trocheck. Shot was saved by Marc-Andre Fleury.
Trocheck.
Game over. Not Trocheck's fault.
Nah, and honestly, because I was thinking about this one this morning too. There's really not much to say negative here. I mean, obviously, you had the big lead. You did kind of blow it,
Right.
but they've been playing so well recently. I mean, it is a long season. Like, are we really going to get bent out of shape other than the fact that it's annoying? You should have won, but just go play your ass off tomorrow, right? I mean, what are you going to sulk about it?
Yeah, I was talking a little bit about it, dude. I was sulking a little bit at
Really? No, but Tony, here I am because I thought you were going to yell at me for saying like, "Oh, this is unacceptable." Like that's what I was like envisioning in my head. Here I am, the positive side of things.
It just would have been dope. Like I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna go back to the bar. I'll be able to watch the third period, everything." I was like, this is sick, dude. And obviously, I was like talking about the Rangers a lot to like a bunch of people at the
So you
bar.
kind of felt foolish.
So we were all kind of like, I already kind of got a bunch of people to like watch this game with me. And I looked like an asshole.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you're right. You're right. They play their ass off. But I mean, geez, dude, like 40 shots Minnesota had on goal.
Yeah.
Rangers had 18.
Yeah.
I mean, there was definitely some major discrepancies,
Quick, maybe not as good as we thought. A lot of goals, no?
A lot of goals is right.
After a big lead. But worst lead in hockey.
I'd have to
it is the worst league in hockey, though.
No, it's not the worst league in hockey.
No, didn't you always say that?
2-0 is.
Well, they were up 2-0 at one point.
Okay. No, but honestly, dude, like I have to go back to see the goals to see if it was quick or not. But it's just a tough loss, dude.
It's tough. But I'm saying I think they're in great position. And like I said, don't slip up tomorrow at the Garden. There's
you can't
no
do that,
reason
dude.
to do that.
I know you just had a phenomenal road trip, and then you're gonna lose games at the Garden.
Plus, I mean, it's nice that Thursday they'll have an opportunity to get revenge against Minnesota. So go do it. Right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Quickly, Tony. 4 games tonight. You're up, by the way. I think it's so you get 2 picks here, but you're up 30. I think it's 32. Yeah, 32-30. Not a great weekend with the picks.
Oh wow, Devils.
On
Friday. That was on Friday. I was saying the Kings really had me riled. That they won 5-0. They were my picks. Anyway, dude, Oilers 2-7-1. Did you see the interview with Connor McDavid?
No.
Oh, he is so depressed right now, dude. He's not leaving Edmonton now.
No. He can be depressed.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to change anything.
Dude, Brady Tkachuk, though, in Ottawa was like the fans were booing them. He's like, unacceptable. Like, you get through adversity every day. You don't turn your back.
He was pissed.
He was tight, dude.
Wow.
He's cursed, and I'm not with that bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Ottawa's been blowing it too. But real quick here, I really want to take the Canucks, but I think I might leave that game for you to pick. I would say for now, give me the Maple Leafs tonight here. They're small favorites here, -155 at home against the Lightning. Maple Leafs definitely a little bit of a disappointing couple of weeks, I would say. So I think bounce back against the Lightning here. And I would say the Maple Leafs are playing a little angry too. They're I forget who the guy's name is. This guy, Timothy Lindgren.
Mm-hmm.
Long time IR. because of a really dirty play when they played the Bruins a few days ago. Brad Marchand kind of like shoved him into the boards and like hit his knee. Brad Marchand, a little fucking weasel guy. And they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. Losing to LA, losing to Nashville, losing to Boston, losing to Buffalo. I just think at home, Samsonov, I know having a tough season, but I think they're going to start playing with some anger. Ryan Reeves on this team, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. Former Ranger.
Yeah.
Bruiser. I think he's pretty pissed too. I'm telling you, like, Maple Leafs are come out here with a fucking vengeance. And unfortunately, it's going to be Tampa Bay that suffers. So give me the Maple Leafs here. I think they win 5-2.
5-2?
Yeah.
All right. I am gonna
All right.
I'm gonna go
I did it.
with the Panthers.
Whoa.
Blue Jackets suck.
Okay, you're right.
Reinhart, Kachuk,
Have your
a
favorite.
couple goals, 8-2 Panthers over the Blue Jackets. So you go ahead, take the Oilers. Take them. Take them. Take them.
I would take the Canucks. You're taking the Oilers.
Take the Canucks.
I'm taking the fucking Bruins.
You're clearly a
I am
little
taking-
nervous, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not nervous. I just
You're a
want
little
you to pick the Oilers so you lose, dude. And really, either game you could have picked. Then I guess you probably would have picked the Bruins against the Stars because you have a vendetta against the Stars.
How dare they?
But give me the Bruins here. I know I had a tough loss to Detroit 2 nights ago. But the Stars, I don't know, they lost to Vancouver. I know they beat Edmonton and whatever. They're a great team. It's very similar records right here. Dallas 3-1-0 at home, Boston 4-1-0 away. But I guess I don't know why. I think it said that Dallas is -155 or Dallas -140. I understand it's hard to fade the home team here. But give me the Bruins. I think they have way more firepower, way more love to spread there across that lineup in terms of offense. Olmark has been great so far. I know Odinger has been phenomenal too. So I think it's going to be lower scoring. But I think at the end of the day, the Bruins will find a way. In regulation, they win 2-1.
Oilers, we're going to say 6-0 over the Canucks. And if not, maybe Woodcroft fired tomorrow, McDavid demand the trade, all of that. But something a little fishy going on with Derek Hall. It really is making me prefer here. The 2017 Connor Anna Cheesecake Real Fan Club. Come on. Wait, is this a bot? Is this prefer, Tony?
I don't know. But then he goes back to
the
his
corner
regular.
No,
Real
but is
Fan
it
Club.
not prefer though? Come on. I know this is prefer, Tony. This is one of those things I'm not hearing it. I'm not having it. There's no way. It's not prefer.
Yeah, no way, dude.
Yeah. Like, okay, I prefer. Haha. Right? Oh man.
Jay Bird also says, "Nah, Tony definitely wasn't the biggest asshole at the bar."
Who was? Jay?
No, it wasn't Jay. I mean, there wasn't really necessary. I mean,
you almost got in a brawl.
No. There was nothing like that, but there was definitely 2 people there that I had in
Had a
mind
couple
very
too many.
specifically could not handle it.
Handle the alcohol.
Yeah, could handle the alcohol. Could not handle the
Really?
alcohol, and it was very interesting on both occasions because obviously we're all there. We all have interactions with these
Right.
people because
So basically, at the end of the night, they were singing New York.
I think one of the last songs played because big Boston fans of the Coin family, Sweet Caroline.
Oh, jeez. Cry me a river.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, that's funny. But at the end of the day, Tony, big night for the Jets here.
Yeah.
Statement game, playoff implications. I think Woody came out this past week too and said that Rodgers is definitely going to play again this year.
Get the
So I
fuck
know
outta
you don't
here.
believe it. Jay don't believe it. I don't necessarily believe it, but I don't think we could rule it out. And I definitely ruled it out a while ago.
Mhm. You did.
Now 50-50 proposition and almost,
Yeah.
I'm going to say 70-30 he plays if by the time he's ready, they're soundly in the mix or even clinched, dare I say.
That'd be kind of crazy.
So let's see, right? Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go
Let's see.
Jets.
Let's go Jets, baby. Super fucking pumped, dude.
Wasn't that the Bonitza? Yeah, I think it was the Bonitza.
The Bonitza?
But once again, I'd like to thank everybody today for tuning in, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, merch at downtimetv.com. Shout out to the company. Let's go Jets, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.